Hello everyone, Lisa Haverly here, Nature Superhero Network. Good evening. I apologize, I was wearing a hat all day, but I was working on an email for you and I thought I'm just going to record something too because I know some people prefer just to listen, but I have talked to several of you this week and I recently reviewed a survey that I had sent out to you about what would you like to know about. And there was a question, can you start this as a side gig? And then actually I had some questions about, well, is a side gig a real business then? And I'm like, whoa, is a side gig a real business? Oh my goodness. So, and I know where they're coming from because I'm sure that they've heard other people say that if it's just a side gig, it's just a hobby and it's not a real business. So I just want to tell you to not listen to that, okay? That sometimes it makes sense to choose the side gig first, right? You have financial obligations. You have a family you're caring for. You maybe have some debt, okay? And so the side gig makes sense. And it's totally then more doable and it feels like an easier step, right? So if you are stuck because you think that you have to take on this new venture full bore, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. I had a side gig for 10 years before I walked away from my school-based job. And I was talking to others about what makes a business real. Okay, what makes a business a real business? And I will talk about this in the framework training because it kind of, gets me maybe excited, but also I'm pretty passionate about kind of the messages that are sent to us as business owners, that we fall into the trap of if you don't do this, then you're going to fail at business. And I just want you to know this, okay? That a real business is not defined by having all the bells and whistles and saying I took this big risk, okay? The realness of a business comes from the value you provide to the community that you serve. And in the email, I talked about the Velveteen Rabbit. Remember the boy who loved him so much that he became real? That is how I want you to think about what defines a real business. Okay? What makes your business real are the people that will return to you again and again because of the value you provide them. So can you start as a side gig? Of course you can. And if you have things that you have to consider, financial obligation, that's a big one, that a side gig is definitely a way to start. And if you can't back down your hours at your current job, then you have to be creative. Could you do something on a weekend? Could you do something in the evening? Is there a long holiday where you could trial something there? Okay? But you might have to figure out and carve out some time for it to be a side gig. And like I tell everyone, start with one thing. Start with one service. Start with one client and see how it goes. This isn't about having to take on and take the big risk, okay? This is about making a difference in the world. This is about serving your community in a way that aligns with you, okay? And so you can start it as a side gig. And I recommend it if there are things in your life that prevent you from doing more. Okay, so you can read the email or you can just take a listen here. I would love your feedback on this about how you define a real business. Those of you that are in business, how do you define a real business? Okay, for me, it's the value that I provide the community and the feedback I get from them. All right, thanks everybody. I hope to see you down the road and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.